In this video, we'll talk about how to build bigger arms. A lot of us don't understand the fact that 70% of the arm is because of your tricep. And most of us don't even focus on this muscle. So in this video, we'll talk about how to address your tricep workouts to make them efficient and make your arms look bigger. Before we jump into the workouts that will help us build bigger arms, let's try to understand a little bit about tricep anatomy. Like it says, tricep has three heads: a long head, a lateral head, and a median head. We will look at three different workouts, or the most efficient workouts that we can use to address these three heads and make sure we hit them in all the directions possible. Let's talk about the long head of the tricep. Basically, this is addressed by all the extension movements which are above your head. So the one that you're seeing on the screen now is the most efficient move to address the long head of the tricep. This will make sure the tricep is under stress throughout the range of the motion, unlike using a skull crusher workout, right, which will actually have a lot of impact on joints but very less on the tricep long head. And one more issue with using a barbell or an easy bar instead of a cable extension for long head is asymmetry. One of the arms will be working more than the other arm. Now, if you're not working out at the gym and if you're working out at home or with a pair of dumbbells, an alternative for this, like you can see, is lying dumbbell extension. This will also focus on the long head of your tricep. Now, let's talk about the lateral head. This can be addressed by cable press down movements. But one of the things that I often see in the gym is people using a bar to do a cable press down. The issues are the same again: the stress on the joints and the asymmetry in the muscles, which means one of the arms working more than the other one, causing an indifference in the size of the arms. So to avoid it, do single arm cable press downs. Well, the benefit of doing a single arm cable press down is one arm working at a time. This is called an unilateral movement, because of which we can address the issue of asymmetry. That means both the arms will put in equal effort. And if you're somebody who is not working out at gym but working out at home, so instead of a single arm cable press down movement, you can use a tricep bench dip as an alternative to address the lateral head. And by doing this movement, since it is a compound movement, it will also have an impact on other muscles and other heads of the triceps, but the primary head that will be working in this movement is the lateral head. The third head of the tricep is medial head. This can be addressed by kickback movements like tricep kickback using a dumbbell or a cable. Again, let's talk about the efficiency here. When you use a dumbbell, the tension will not be on the medial head throughout the range of the motion, because dumbbell will only be challenging as long as it is traveling against gravity. But unlike that, cable extension or a cable kickback will have an impact on the medial head throughout the range of the motion, because the weight under the weight stack will be going up till you move the cable with your hand. Again, if you do not have access to gym or you're working out at home, you can do a lying dumbbell side extensions as an alternative for this to address the medial head. Alright, so now let's talk about one of our favorite muscles, which is biceps, right? So let's understand how to address bicep workouts efficiently. Unlike tricep, we will not be addressing individual heads of the bicep, though. There are two muscles in biceps, right? So we will look at two different movements and the alternatives for it to make bicep workout efficient. So let's talk about how do we work out biceps. So unlike triceps, instead of talking about three different heads, let's talk about the positions at which the tension on these muscles is maximum. We will be looking at three different movements to address two different muscles within the biceps itself. The first one is biceps brachii and the second one is brachialis. The first movement is to challenge biceps brachii lengthened position, that is the starting position. We will use dumbbell curls for this. Seated dumbbell curls are more efficient than standing dumbbell curls, because that will avoid any momentum generated. So when you start doing dumbbell curls movement, the toughest position is the starting position of this movement, and the easiest position is the top movement. The reason being, the lengthened position is challenged by gravity, unlike the shortened position in this exercise. So now let's talk about how to make the shortened position challenging, which is a top position in a bicep curl movement. For this, let's use the cable curls. Again, I'm using a single cable curl here instead of a double cable curl or a bar cable curl here. Again, because of the same reason, we don't want to create an asymmetry in the muscle sizes of both the arms, so we will work them out individually, which is the most efficient way to address these muscles. So here, when you look at the cable curl, the most difficult position is at the shorter position, which is the top position, instead of the lengthened position, because we are not completely extending arm at the bottom. Now let's talk about the last exercise in biceps that we would require to address a brachialis muscle. This can be addressed by a hammer movement. So either you can use dumbbells or cables for this. Now if you're working out at home, you can use dumbbell for this movement, but if you're working out at gym, you can use a cable curl for this. Now, like you see here, I'm using a single arm at a time again to address the brachialis muscle, because that's the most efficient way of addressing it, because the stress is throughout the range of the motion and it is challenging both in the shortened position and the lengthened position as well. Well, now if you think that was valuable for you, hit a like on this video and subscribe for any valuable content in future.